Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Being Wise, where I discuss transformative ideas gathered from books, internet or from anywhere else on this planet. Today we are going to discuss about strategies on finding and doing the work that you love. These are entirely adapted from a couple of essays of Paul Graham. He is a venture capitalist and is well known for Y Combinator, which is a startup incubator. All of us face a challenge when we have to choose what we want to do with our lives. Even those of us in our late 20s or our 30s, a lot of us are dissatisfied with our jobs and really wish that we could be doing something more meaningful, satisfying or more interesting with our lives. All the time we hear people asking us to do things that we love and things that we are passionate about, but we hear less about how to find the things that we are passionate about or how to find the things that we love and how to practically pursue the things that we love. And hence most of us never get to discovering the things that we love or pursuing them, and we end up being dissatisfied, especially in the modern context where we have a lot of freedom, and with freedom comes a lot of opportunity, and our ambitions and aspirations are really high. When we are not able to fulfill them, we become really dissatisfied. So here we are going to talk about strategies that will help you discover the things that you love and help you pursue them. To make clear about the assumptions before we proceed, when we say the work that we love we are passionate about, I mean those productive pleasures. We are not talking about eating chocolate cake or watching Netflix. These are passive and unproductive. When we say productive pleasures, we mean things that create value and needs effort and deliberate practice to do them. These are productive pleasures, and only these can offer you sustainable happiness over the long term. So let's jump into the 3 strategies. These are applicable to people of all ages, be you working or just studying in school or university. So the first strategy is organic job route or the 2 job route. Organic job route is where you identify certain aspects about your current job that you really enjoy and love, and try to make that into a full-time job. For instance, you may have a job that involves aspects of data analysis and research and aspects of sales and presenting to customers. Now you may feel that you are more interested in the data analysis and the research part and culling out insights from the data to form strategy, but you may not be that into sales. So going forward you would look for roles and jobs that offer you more of data analysis and strategy than the sales part. So this is the organic job route. This comes with limitations because your options are limited to a set of related jobs. You cannot go from being a bond trader to being a writer. So this has its limitations. It is incremental and linear, but the advantage is that you can make use of your existing experience and expertise. In the 2 job route, you have a primary day job which pays all your bills, and you have a secondary job in which you pursue your interest. For example, your primary job could be a sales job, and during the nights and weekends you could be pursuing writing a novel. So you have 2 jobs here. The primary disadvantage of this approach is that oftentimes you will not find enough energy or time to pursue your secondary job, which is your interest, and most well-paying day jobs involve a lot of engagement. So again, it reduces the time and effort that you can put into your secondary job. But the advantage is that there is no constraint as to what you can pursue in your secondary job, because money is not a constraint, and you can literally go from being a bond trader to being a novel writer. So the organic job route will be easier if that suits you, but if it does not, then you should explore the 2 job route. So this is the first strategy of organic job route or the 2 job route. The second strategy is being upwind. I'll explain what it means. Trying to decide what we want to do with our entire lives, or trying to decide where we want to be 10 years down the line, is a very difficult decision to make. And most of us, because of the difficulty, end up making bad decisions that we would come to regret later in our life, or agonizing over the choices we have, never end up making decision at all. So Paul Graham recommends that instead of focusing too much on the future, see what you can do right now. Collect the options that are available to you at this moment and pick the one that will offer you the most promising range of options going forward. So that is why completing standardized tests or completing university or taking up certifications always are prudent, because going forward they will always improve the range of options available to you. The metaphor of being upwind is taken from the context of gliding. Just as a glider would not want to go downwind too early that he has to land at a suboptimal space, so you have to try to stay upwind, especially when you are young, so that you have as many options available to you. So the second strategy is being upwind. The third strategy is developing focused curiosity. Now the first two strategies were about how you pursue what you love or are passionate about. The third strategy is about finding what you love to do. So Paul Graham suggests that instead of using words like love and passion towards our work, which might confuse us, he recommends using the word curiosity. So we have to find areas in which we are really curious about. When we see people who are really successful and enjoy their work, say for example Einstein or Richard Feynman or other researchers or even professors in your university who seem very interested and love their work, if you see, they are all curious about what they do. They are all curious about their subject matter. So we also have to find what we are curious about, and only when you find that you will be really engaged and you will enjoy your work. So how do you find what you are curious about? And this is a difficult task for all of us. One of the suggestions is that you take up short personal projects of a month-long duration. So this could be an online course, or writing a blog, or making videos, or even making financial models. So take up short projects, just create and make something so that you can find out what really excites you and what you are really engaged in. So actively develop curiosity and try out these short projects to narrow down to few areas of curiosity which you can further pursue. When you are curious about something, you are completely engaged and you are in a state of flow, which will lead to a long-term sustainable happiness and satisfaction in your life. Now we got the strategies through which you can find and do what you love, but there must be a heuristic so that we can see whether we are actually making some progress and we are on the right track, or are we simply shifting from one activity to another without making much progress. So we need a test of effectiveness here. A simple heuristic is that you must keep producing. Whatever it may be, if you are coding, if you are writing a blog or making videos or making financial models or creating anything, just keep producing on a daily basis. So give yourself targets and keep producing. So that will help you know if you are on the right track or if you really enjoy what you are doing. Another aspect of the effectiveness test is that you should keep working on hard problems. Which means when we say hard problems, we mean problems or tasks that require considerable effort and deliberate practice to execute them well. Just if your hobby is just to read books or watch movies, then that doesn't really count, because these are mostly passive activities and do not require a lot of effort, and it's difficult to create value out of them. So rather than just watching movies or reading books, you must try to summarize your learning from the books or the films, or write blogs on them. So this way you make these passive activities into something that is more active and more productive. So this is another test of effectiveness. But do remember, you must keep producing whatever that you take up. That is a good test of effectiveness and a heuristic for you to keep in mind. So given all this, finding what you love and pursuing it requires a lot of effort and commitment. It is not easy at all. There are a lot of constraints in our lives that we see. It could be financial, it could be your commitments, it could be your family, it could be your time. But Paul Graham says that it is specifically these constraints that forge us and give shape to our lives. Consider any of your role model or any person that you admire. It may be a CEO, it may be an entrepreneur, it may be a scientist, it may be a writer. They all did not start with a lot of money and we can be sure that they were at least as busy as we are. So consider your constraints as your unique learnings and that which differentiates you, and like Steve Jobs says, you can only connect the dots looking back. So that was the idea for today, strategies to find and do what you love. Like I said, these strategies are adapted from 2 essays of Paul Graham. The first one is How to Do What You Love, and the second essay is titled What You'll Wish You'd Known. I have given the links to these essays in the description box below. Do read them. These essays are really wise, practical and actionable essays that make a lot of sense. So definitely read them, especially if you're a younger person, because you will be going through a lot more confusion in your life at that young age. I really wish I had read these essays when I was back in high school or even in my undergrad days. So I'll meet you next time with another idea. Goodbye.